Just be happy with what is on the horizon. Be happy with the fact that we are about to have a football team like we have never had in this city before. Be happy that we are going to have a football team that for the next 5, 10, maybe 15, hell, maybe even 20 years is going to be talked about as a consistent contender because we have the right people in the front office, we have the right people running the show, and they're going to do things the right way this time. And we've never had that here in Chicago.
Abused stepchildren. We don't believe the next guy isn't going to kick the shit out of us like the last guy did.
That's fair. That's fair.
Everybody's writing Pitts gibberishes today, and they're all better than mine.
From a sold-out, maybe not, McNally's.
McNally's. Maybe if the Bears were 3-0, we'd be sold out. It is a rainy day here.
It is a rainy day here. They had an event here at McNally's as well. There was a walk that a lot of the people went to. So there's a lot of people that are out there. But hey, still nonetheless, if you're in the area, you want to come see a great sports talk show, you want to come have a couple of drinks with a great bartender and some great regulars that will be back here, I think like around 2:00 sometime in between the game.
They got food at halftime.
Come on, show up, hang out. We'll talk. Your dad's supposed to be here. Oh,
yeah, he'll be here soon.
Oh,
him and his mustache.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for people to walk into the room, we've got the Chicago White Sox to talk about real quick. I know, but look, that's kind of how I feel about the Bears. But the White Sox, 121 losses.
Hurricane White Sox.
I mean, look, glass half full.
Oh,
glass half full.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
They are the best team in the history of baseball at losing, but they're the best at something.
You said your finger was a gun.
You're a liar. You're a liar. You don't believe any of this.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't believe any of this.
No.
I mean, maybe it gets Jerry off his ass, but he's 88 years old. You need a crane at this point, and a lot of steroids. It is It is not getting any better anytime soon.
Yeah.
This team is horrible. None of the young players that they brought up there this year, and Lenine Sosa might be good. He looks like he has a little bit of talent. Andrew Vaughn got better at the end of the year, but he's like 26. Luis Robert is 27, but none of the guys, they brought up 9 players this year. Up to the majors from the minors. Not one of them was a plus player. Not one of them was a plus player. I mean, it's not getting better anytime soon.
And Jeremiah says Guts already said they won't be active in free agency.
Yes. Yeah. Let me show the picture. We're not going to be working heavy in free agency. We've got guys on the field right now. What guys? You don't have plus players. You don't. And then you have another organization that does this on 4th and 1.
And now
this is our life.
And now
this is why nobody is here today. Because we haven't been in the playoffs since 2021 with a manager. Yeah. We haven't been in the playoffs since 2021 in Chicago, everybody, because we have a manager who walked a guy on a 1-2 count twice and then said it was the right move.
Well, to be fair, we're used to doing the show with a background like this, right? Because we typically do it out of our basement where nobody's watching us anyway, right? So last week we've got one. We've got one guy. One guy just let us know.
He looks like he got hurt on the speed option.
Thanks for joining.
He got hurt on that speed option. No one blocked for you. I'm sorry.
Actually, with that on his arm, so for those of you that can't see, he's got his arm is in a cast. Hopefully he's okay and he's going to recover quickly. But he could probably still block better than our offensive line for the Chicago Bears. That's probably, very true. Look, and he could probably hit better than half the lineup of the White Sox.
That's good form.
I mean, it's just true. The White Sox have been that organization. And look, even as a Cubs fan, man, I want the White Sox to be good. Like, I want this city deserves better. This fan base deserves better than what they've gotten, and they just haven't received what they've put into it. And it as sad as it has been in Oakland, watching what they've had to go through, I almost feel like the White Sox have to go through that. I almost feel like maybe the White Sox should go to maybe the White Sox should go to Las Vegas or Nashville, and then in a couple of years, once Jerry is dead and gone, somebody else purchases a team and brings them back to the south side,
like
of
Cleveland Browns style.
What
I mean, like
why not
Art Modell?
Because the only other option is that over the next 5 to 6, 10, 15 years, until Jerry is either dead and gone or sells the team, this is what the White Sox fans are going to be resigned to. It is a black hole. You are going to be stuck in a black hole. Groundhog Day is the Chicago White Sox.
It's every team. I mean, the Cubs are on the verge of being 83-79 again. I mean, for 2 years in a row.
In my defense, when I picked them to win the division, I said they're going to win it with 87 wins. So I wasn't that far off of.
No, you didn't think Milwaukee was going to be this
good,
but
nobody thought Milwaukee was going to be this good. They're about to knock the Mets out of the playoffs. They took 2 out of 3 so far. If they sweep them today, the Mets are out. Yeah. The Diamondbacks and Braves are in.
I feel so sorry for New York fans.
I don't.
For Christ's sake.
We're Chicago fans. How do we feel bad about anybody?
Every other month. Like, I just can't believe this. I can't believe we started a podcast right now. I mean, 2 years ago, we're almost 2 years in here. Not one playoff team. And it really hasn't even been that close. Jeremiah says you guys were like Night at the Roxbury guys to the person that just walked in.
It's kind of how it is. Look.
I use the condom.
Let me show you what it looks like behind the scenes. This is what it looks like. This is what we're looking at right now.
This is the video we're going to play when we make it.
That's all right, though.
This is the video we're going to play when we have a packed house and people can't wait to come and see me sweat all over myself.
When people are, it is hot. When people are coming to watch us say the things that Mike Greenberg said 2 years before he said it, and people come and actually watch us talk about the things that we're saying before all of these people that get paid millions of dollars to say it are actually saying it. I mean, it's crazy.
Granted, for Greenberg, he does have to cover the entire country, but I hear his wife is a diehard Bears fan. He used to broadcast here in Chicago. Used to be on talk shows and stuff. I can play the clip if you're ready.
Shanna said the White Sox are as washed out as a groundhog hole on my property. She lives in Nashville, by the way. They're getting hammered with rain from this hurricane.
Jeez. Yeah. Is this the hurricane?
This is the like rain we're getting like the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. That's what.
Not a lot. Not.
I've had a couple of kids just the tip.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I'm not surprised. You got 100 kids. Okay, yeah. This is Mike Greenberg on the state of the Bears right now. The state of the Bears for the last 6-7 years, maybe longer. Actually, the state of the Bears for the last 80 years.
You might have heard this before.
Yes.
Right here on Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk.
This is what drives me nuts. What? When you draft a quarterback number 1, your only priority should be developing him. But when you have a coach who is a lame duck, his priority is trying to win games so he doesn't get fired. That's what happened to Mitch Trubisky. That's what happened to Justin Fields. And that's what's happening to Caleb Williams. Everything they do should be put in place to develop him. That's more important than how many games they win this year. But you can't tell that to the coach who's coaching for his job. And it drives me nuts.
No, I mean, that's.
And that, of course, is Brandon Combs and Ryan Fitz on ESPN. Yeah. Oh, wait. Look, we've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. And I said this, if you remember, right before the draft, I said the same exact thing again. And that is that if they didn't get the coaching staff right, it doesn't matter who's on the roster. And it's glaringly obvious that they've missed on the coaching staff again. We knew that they had already missed on Matt Eberflus. We knew he wasn't the head coach. We knew he was Ryan Poles' yes man. But we didn't know that they were going to miss on Shane Waldron. And so far, look, we're only 3 games in, but so far it's been a miss. I mean, Shane Waldron with the inability, again, like the last coordinator in Luke Getsy, like the guy before that in Matt Nagy, who refused to change their game plan to the talent that they have is beyond me. You can't run a play like that on 4th and 1 from the goal line and run a quarterback option with a line that can't block.
What is happening?
You can't with a line that can't block. You just can't do it. You've got a running back that you paid. How much did they pay DeAndre Swift?
I think it's $8 million a year.
He's averaging 2 yards a carry. He's averaging 2 yards a carry.
That's not good, right?
He had a game two games ago in Houston.
If it's a first down every 5 yards, that's pretty good.
He rushed 14 times for 18 yards.
Oh, my God.
But it's not because DeAndre Swift is not a good running back. It's because they have 2 guards that can't block. They've got a center that would get pancaked by either you or me trying to come through the line. They've got tackles that on the road can't hear the snap count because you're going with a silent count because they've played in Houston and Indianapolis, 2 of the loudest places in the league to play.
Indianapolis wasn't even that loud.
No, they had a lot of
Bears fans there. Like, what the hell? And then Julianne comes
with the Packers gear.
Jersey.
With the Packers gear. Well,
and we do have fans.
Hey, Notre Dame. They won a game.
We have 2 fans.
My
dad will be here soon. But anyway,
I still don't believe you. You said that your dad was coming 2 weeks ago. He never showed up.
Yes.
You're like that kid waiting for your dad.
Yes, I know, to come to my ball game.
He said he was just going to get milk and he'll be back.
Yes, I know. He might be back. He's like the Bears. Like I said, the Bears before. The Bears organization are like a dad who goes out for a pack of cigarettes and doesn't come back for 20 years.
It's true.
That's the entire Bears organization right now. But yeah, I mean, I want to stay. I want to stay and sit in Shane Waldron right now.
Yeah. Oh, let's do it because look, it's bad.
The adjustments aren't coming quick enough. I mean, you have a quarterback that went 15 for 17 in the last quarter and a half of last week's game. It took you that long to get to there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you got guys like Matt LaFleur, when you got guys like Ben Johnson in your division. I mean, Matt LaFleur is doing it with nobody. When you got O'Connell in with the Vikings, who's doing it with Sam Darnold, who no one wanted.
Yes,
who no one wanted, and he's another quarterback who went to a crap organization with the Jets, and then went to another crap organization with Carolina, and now is all of a sudden he gets a little good coaching, he gets some blocking. I mean, Justin Jefferson helps, one of the best receivers of all time, and now he's all playing well. And the entire division is better than the Bears, way better than the Bears. And the entire division, every team has a good offensive line. I mean, the Detroit might have the best offensive line in the league again, or one of them. Doubting Thomas. Either of you have a problem with Caleb and Rome running around like schoolgirls making a TikTok video in a game they were losing.
No, because they were celebrating their first touchdowns as professionals, right? In what you're going to have to realize, and what Bears fans are going to have to come to grips with reality and this is something that I think we were both victims of, right? We were both victims of hey, look at what CJ Stroud did last year. There's no reason why Caleb Williams can't be CJ Stroud. What we didn't take into account was that the Houston Texans are a better organization than the Bears, which is insane, right? Because the Houston Texans organization has been a dumpster fire for years.
It's only been around for a little over 20 years.
Yeah, and look, it's the Bears' schedule is still complicit with a team that could possibly rattle off a winning streak, right? Like they are complicit in that. I just don't know that they can be favorites in any game moving forward. Even today's game, I know they're the favorites in today's game
by a point.
It's down to a point. It was 3.5 the other day. Wow. So, but yeah, that's what right? Against the Rams, who had just completed a comeback against the San Francisco 49ers, who, again, just a much better run organization, better coaching. If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm out to dinner with Sean McVay last night and saying, what does it take to get you here?
Why would he come here? Why would he come to this organization? Why would anybody come at this point? You basically built a bunch of skill players around, and we talked about it last week. You had 3 skill players that are pretty good, but there's good offensive linemen right after them in the draft. Every player, you got Jaquan Brisker, you got Kyler Gordon, you got Tyreek Stevenson, good players playing pretty much off the ball.
Right.
And you got no center.
Yeah.
You have no guards pretty much. You have Tevin Jenkins, who has half a body most of the time.
So I've heard
you
a
have
lot
a left
about
tackle you got in the 5th round. Nobody else builds a team like this.
I've heard a lot about, and this is something that I've heard on 670 all week. Why don't they move Tevin Jenkins to the right side with Darnell Wright? Why don't they just say, hey, look, this is the side we're going to run it to. You know we're going to run it there. Stop it if you can. Because if you've got your 2 best offensive linemen on the same side of the field, at least you've got one side of your offensive line that is strong, as opposed to your 2 best players spread out so far, and the rest in between are just garbage, and they can just rush you up the middle all day. Like the way to beat the Bears is out, right? Didn't the Texans give you the blueprint? Texans gave you the blueprint. Blitz.
Yeah.
They can't beat you if you blitz.
No, and you have no running game to run during the blitz when guys' ears are pinned back and they're coming forward, and you can have the running back. If you have no running game, like, what are you going to do? And the reason why Tevin Jenkins isn't playing on the right side is obvious, because it's a calling card for every bad coaching staff in the history of every sport. They are totally insecure. It's obvious that he can come to the right side and it would make the line better, but they're totally insecure. They don't want to do it because everybody's calling for it. They'll do it like game 9.
Yeah.
When they're 2-6,
2-5. Here's what I don't like.
I know they got a bye.
I don't like about when we're talking about the Bears being bad and Jules is sitting there with a Packers jersey on with a smirk on her face. This is what drives me nuts about the Packers.
Yeah.
Just because the Bears, they're going to do it to us again. They're going to do it to us again, man.
Like the Packers are going to slaughter us? Is that what you're saying? You've already given up.
If Jordan Love is the quarterback, we have a better chance.
I still think you have to have a little bit of patience with the team, but man, it's the same thing again. I just can't believe I'm sitting here with a Bears jersey on. I feel like a moron. And you know what? I
probably am a moron. But still. Dude, look.
I feel like everything my 3rd grade teacher told me is becoming true. In slow motion, too. This is like the scene from Austin Powers where the guy gets rolled over by the steamroller, and the steamroller's going really slow and he's screaming. Only I'm done screaming. I'm not done screaming.
Remember a month ago when we were talking White Sox and you said, can we please get the Bears already?
Yeah. I couldn't wait for the Bears.
You didn't know that the White Sox were the Bears?
Who are like the same thing. I'm sorry. You have a 100-year-old owner and they're totally out of touch. They can't even build a stadium. It's like the same story. It's the same story. They can't draft. They're basically the laughing stock of the league again.
But we knew that if they didn't get the coaching staff right, that this was going to be null and void. It didn't matter who they had on the roster. It didn't matter if they drafted Caleb Williams. It didn't matter if they drafted, Marvin Harrison Jr. It didn't matter if they went out and traded for CJ Stroud. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what they did. They've got right now on their roster is the best Bears roster that has ever been.
Ever?
I
don't know. That 2016 was pretty good.
This defense is elite, and this offense is the best offense we've ever had in Chicago, bar none. The problem is the coaching. The problem is the glaring need for an offensive mind to come in and be like, hey, look, we can't run a quarterback option on 4th and 1 because we don't have the personnel to run a quarterback option on 4th and 1. We can't run plays downfield that take 4 seconds to get a guy downfield with an offensive line that gives you 1.9 seconds of an empty pocket. You can't do that. You've got to be able to run slants. You've got to be able to run cross routes. You've got to be able to run short routes. You've got to be able to beat the blitz. You've got to be able to pass quick. You've got to be able to run off the edges. You've got to be able to do all that stuff. But the problem is they don't have a coach that sees that.
No one runs an option. No one could run an option. You could have Tom Thayer and Hilgenberg and Jimbo Covert out there. You're not going to run an option on 4th and 1 on the goal line.
Yeah.
It's inexplicable.
It's 5 straight.
That's it.
Wide receiver screens again. 6 straight.
That's what they're going to have to do today. Like you said, they have the blueprint out. They're going to be blitzed. They're going to have to screen. I don't think 3 screens in a row is tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have an offensive coordinator who's constantly trying to be cute and trick everybody and look good. Because again, bad coaching is insecure, so they want to look good. Shanna says they should have hired Mike Rabel.
I don't think Mike Vrabel would have made a difference, right? Because we've already got a defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, I know.
They need an offensive mind. They need somebody. They need the Sean McVay type.
Jim Harbaugh.
They were never getting Jim Harbaugh. Ryan Poles was never hiring a guy who was going to take his job.
Throwing it out, then we can't have the best coaching candidate out there. Every time there's a good coaching candidate out there. No, we can't have Bill Belichick out there. He's going to ask for too much money, and he's the best coach ever.
Or Ben Brown? Why not one of those guys who can come in and be an offensive guy? Cliff Kingsbury worked with Caleb in high school. Why not Ben Brown, who's done a tremendous job as an offensive coordinator? Why can't we have the guy that is supposed to come in here and change the culture of this organization? That is what they need. They've already started the culture change by having a qualified offense, by having one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league be under center. That man was under 1.9 second average in the pocket. He threw for 360 yards.
On 52.
They've got the guy.
On 52 attempts.
They've got the guy.
I can throw 52 times and at least get 200 yards.
He got hit on 32 of those attempts.
Jesus Christ. This kid's going to be hurt by the six. We're going to be
He's not going to be able to have kids if he keeps getting hit like
Tyson Bagent play, who can't throw the ball, everybody. Stop. Just stop putting in my Facebook feed about Tyson Bagent. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing to be a Bears fan. Stop putting it in my Facebook. Just stop. Even the trolls that are doing it, just stop. He's not that good. And then, he's going to get traded for a third rounder. That's never going to happen. I'll tell you why. Because he can't throw the ball.
Yes.
You have to throw the ball to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Even now that everybody's dinking and dunking down the field, up and down the field, you have to be able to throw in those tight windows, those 15-yard outs. He can't do it. And he's going to play this year. It's obvious he's going to play this year. There's no quarterback that could stay healthy with this offensive line and this play calling.
Jeremiah says, bet Roshan's yardage today. I've already done that, actually. And I picked up Roshan in a couple of my fantasy leagues 2 weeks ago. Because the writing's on the wall that they need a running back that can run your ass over. And DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert are not the guys that will run your ass over. Roshan Johnson is the guy that will run your ass over. Once they establish a run, once they establish, because last year, what was the one thing they did well?
They ran the ball.
They ran the ball well. The problem, and I said this week one, Caleb's not Justin. Justin's legs are better than Caleb.
Oh, way better. He's stronger too. Can break tackles a lot easier, especially when someone gets to him.
Now you're forced to pass protect, which is the weakness of your line. Like it's you have to figure it out. And look, I'm telling you right now, this Bears team is going to end up winning 7 or 8 games. They're going to fire Matt Eberflus. They're going to fire Shane Waldron. They're going to fire them all again. And you've done the same thing. Just like Greedy was saying, you've got a coach that's in a lame duck year with another rookie quarterback. It's the same thing that happened to Justin Fields. It was the same thing that happened to Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky was going to fail.
It was the same thing that happened to Jay Cutler. It was the same thing that happened to Jim Miller. It was the same thing that happened to Cade McNown. It was terrible anyway, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same thing that's happened to guys over and over again because the only offensive coach you ever grabbed with any kind of pedigree was Matt Nagy, who was another guy who was totally insecure.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't give away the play calling. And when he did, he's kind of wasn't giving away the play calling. And then he'd have the sheet in his hand. And who was calling the plays? Was it Bill Lazor? Who the hell was it? It's going to get real loud when Justin runs for 1,000 yards against the Colts and the Steelers win by 20.
The Steelers are going to win that game today, and they're going to win that game big. Anthony Richardson is god-awful.
Yeah.
God-awful.
Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
I would not, because I drafted him in three leagues in the first round.
For you.
Yeah. He's my quarterback in 3 leagues.
Can't throw. He can't make a decision that's worth a damn. That interception in the end zone, when he threw that, I was like, oh, they're going to win this game no matter if they can block or not. And they found a way not to. Well, they couldn't. That that might be one of the best running backs in the league, Taylor on the Colts.
What happened to
one of the
12
better
wins? That ship sailed with the coaching staff. I mean, look,
12
that's the
wins.
one thing that
It's got nothing else
we
to
thought
do.
that they got it right.
It's got nothing else to do. I said
I know.
11 wins.
I
You
know.
said 10.
John,
we said 12 wins like a
John
year
Fitzgibbon's over here typing on YouTube when he lives a block and a half from fucking McNally's. Get your lazy ass over to the bar and hang out with us. Son of a bitch.
He's watching
Jesus.
replays of the Notre Dame Louisville game.
Yeah, with Jergens next to him, Kleenex. Yeah, that's kind of what he does.
That's another offensive lineman we should have got, Cameron Jergens.
Yeah, Cameron Jergens. Yeah,
who's now playing for the Eagles, and he's their center.
Yeah,
who took over for the other Kelsey, who's dancing somewhere.
Jackson Powers Johnson, who they could have had in this draft.
Yeah,
that they passed on.
I mean, Roma Dunze got a touchdown, 100 yards. That's great in a losing effort. Maybe he wasn't the guy to get. And maybe, just maybe, and I could say this part quiet, but I'm not going to. Maybe having Joe Alt and Roma Dunze and Justin Fields, you'd have a better team right damn now. I don't know what it's gonna look like in a couple years, and nobody does. And we sat here and said Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in this league. Yeah, may he not be a top 10 quarterback? But
right now he's an undefeated quarterback.
10th, maybe he's the 10th best quarterback, 12th best quarterback in the league by the end of the year. But if he's on a winning team, who gives a hell?
Well,
damn?
What happened was he went to a team, which I'm pretty sure that, again, you and I have said this for the last 2 or 3 years. He went to a team that knew how to use his abilities. He went to a team with good coaching. He went to a team that knew how to take him to that next level. And he looks comfortable in Pittsburgh. He's not throwing for a ton of yards. He threw for like 210 yards the other day, last week, and they won. He threw for 116 yards the week before that. They won. You know why? Because he's running the ball when he needs to run the ball. They're protecting him. He's comfortable. He knows how to pass. He can do those things that are special. He can do all the things that Caleb can do, but he can run.
Yeah.
And that is a much different quarterback than what Caleb Williams is. I think Caleb Williams is going to be great. And I think he's going to be just fine.
If he's not silly putty.
He's been better every week since week 1. He's been better every single week. You've seen progression every single week. He is learning how to do things even though he's getting hit all the time.
He's making decisions quicker than Justin did already. He's
got
a much better arm, a much quicker release.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things he does better.
Have you seen the meme where it says that Caleb has progressed more week 1 to week 3 than Justin did year 1 to year 3?
I did not see that stat.
But I kind of agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, you can see.
You can make that case, yeah. You could.
Whereas with Justin, you knew, all right, once he starts getting hit, he gets happy feet. That's what it was, because he was getting hit a lot. Because, again, they had no offensive line. They had no offensive mind to tell them, hey, guys, we can't run the ball up the middle 9 times. Hey, guys, we can't run a quarterback option on 4th and 1. Hey, guys, we can't run 16 wide receiver screens in a row.
Yeah.
They've never had that. And now they have got, like, Ryan, like, I don't understand. Like, I got to have a conversation with Dave Wannstedt this week.
Oh, my God.
I won't tell you
name dropping.
What his
name dropping, panty dropping.
My biggest question to him was
how do you grow a mustache?
Was how,
because he hasn't been able to.
How come? Why? Like, how do they not realize that it's this bad? And he's like, oh, they know.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Pretty much.
That's
pretty much.
I don't know who's saying that.
Ryan Poles is a smart GM.
Maybe that's Ryan
Poles has got to look at this and be like, guys, this isn't working. And it's never happened before where the Bears will go out and fire a head coach mid-season. But something's got to happen, because Eberflus, for one, is not the guy. Everybody's like, oh, he turned around that defense. No.
There's a lot of defensive coordinators.
Sweat turned around that defense. Sweat made that defense considerably better because they were worried about him off the edge. Everybody knows that when you've got a good pass rusher, your secondary thrives off of that.
All your draft picks in the secondary were taken before guys who are now showing to be offensive linemen in this league, starting offensive linemen in this league.
Yes.
Did you need a secondary more than you needed offensive linemen? No. Like Greenberg said, what you have to be obsessed with putting a good team together for a number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, it's the first quarterback they've ever taken number 1 overall. It's been one of the first time in my lifetime they've had a number 1 pick overall.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that we're still having this discussion. We got a guy, Ryan Poles, he can put an offensive line together. He doesn't take anybody in the first round who's an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
He doesn't take anybody in the second round who's an offensive lineman. That Amagaji was taken in the 3rd round, and he hasn't even whiffed the field yet.
Right.
Maybe he should. I don't know, but
yeah. So you could have had Badass. I call him Badass. It's be a Daz or whatever. But you could have had Badass for 3 years, $29 million at center. They didn't want to pay the money. They wanted to go after the 5th or 6th best center and pay him. I've made this comparison before. Ryan Poles' offensive line is Jed Hoyer's bullpen. Let's build it with guys who are cheap and who are not very good at their job, but aren't going to cost us very much money and hope that they overperform. That's Ryan Poles' offensive line.
I don't see the logic. And he's like sweating off over not getting Matthew Judon over the in the offseason, or not making that deal for a 3rd rounder. He's saying that
and then they paid Swift 3 for 24.
It's gonna 3 for 20. I thought it was $8 million a year.
So
I thought it was $8 million a
3
year.
for 29 for a center.
Actually right
3
about
for 24
something.
for a running back who's averaging 2 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't, and people keep saying like, oh, someone put up on Facebook, oh, here are all the linemen who are free agents. Shut up. Any lineman who is worth a damn is either going to be franchise tag or signed. All the crap, all the Ryan Bates, all the Coleman Sheltons, all them, you can go and get them, but they are not going to be good players. Because good teams keep those linemen, and good teams have good offensive linemen. And I hate to talk about the same thing for 40 minutes, but I've been talking about it for 2 years. Did they think, oh, we're just going to have 3 bad years? Like they don't do that in the NFL anymore. There's no teams that build a team for 3 years. I mean, we talk about the Packers. They're at least always good. I don't think they rebuild for 3 years at a time. Nobody does. No good organization in this league does that. Unless you're the Browns or the Jets.
Yeah.
Or the Bears.
No, it's crazy. Look, in there's not a lot of centers right now that would I mean, if you go and get a center and guards off of the free agent wire right now, they can't be worse than what you have, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not maybe that's not a bad thing.
They're going to learn the offense. You can't do that in the middle of the year. You can get a guy like Sweat, just tell him like, just do your thing. In the middle of the year, you can get maybe a cornerback and just say, just protect that guy.
Why can't you get an offensive guard? Hey, just block the guy in front of you. Because we have 2 offensive guards now that can't block in front of them.
They have to work in unison. Last week I said I love it when you analyze what happened to that brain.
I'm so tired of this offensive line.
Cokes have you had?
1.
You should have just done coke.
This offense, I should have. This offensive line, an 8 ball would do me good. This offensive line has done it to me. Like I'm just so frustrated with the fact that we're sitting here again, week 4, and I'm about to do our wheel of death and pick the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking the Bears.
You can't.
I'm not taking.
They have to prove to you that they can, that they're going to be better than what they can be.
It's like a clown car of idiocy.
It is.
Team. I mean, really.
And now you look at their schedule. So you got the Rams this week. You got the Panthers next week. Better win that damn game.
Bakhtiari just sitting on his couch right now. I don't know how he helps you.
How does he not?
He better get off his couch and train or something.
The Jags after that. The one that's going to concern me is going to be the 2 after that. The Commanders and the Cardinals. because the Commanders and the Cardinals after that. You got Jaden Daniels you're going to Washington. And that game is a noon game. It's a CBS game. We'll be here live at McNally's for that game. And we're going to end up watching Jaden Daniels do everything that we wish Caleb Williams could, because Jaden Daniels has an offensive line and coaching.
Almost 1 year after the Bears clobbered Washington, to where basically, I mean, that coaching staff was done after that game.
Oh, yeah.
When they just clobbered
That was
Washington.
DJ Moore's, 4-touchdown game? 3-touchdown game?
3-touchdown game, something like that. No, it was Justin Fields who had 4 touchdowns. If he runs for a touchdown and has 3 touchdowns today and they slaughter the Colts, it's going to be
mayhem. I told you it was going to be that. If Justin Fields thrives in Pittsburgh and Caleb Williams is slow in Chicago, people don't care that it's because the offensive line. People don't care that even with Justin Fields in this, we'd probably be 0-3. We'd probably be 0-3 instead of 1-2. It's just because the offensive line is that bad. Justin Fields doesn't make that much big of a difference on this team. Patrick Mahomes doesn't make that much big of a difference on this team because they get hit all the time. Look what Patrick Mahomes is going through right now.
Joe Montana
Montana
doesn't make that much of a difference on this team.
I mean,
you love Joe Montana.
This is not a Caleb Williams problem. This is not a Rome Odunze problem. This is not a defensive problem. This is an offensive line and a coaching staff problem. It just is. And no matter who you throw under center, whether it's Caleb Williams, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, whether it's Jordan Love, whether it's any of these guys right now that are being better than what you have, it's because they have better coaching. It's because they have a better offensive line. Caleb Williams has all the weapons. The Bears have all of the weapons. They don't have anybody on the interior offensive line that can block, and they don't have a coach that can scheme for it.
I don't even know if they have the tackles. I mean, Darnell Wright misses a lot too, who was supposed to be hurt. God knows what they gave him. They gave him the Joe Biden drugs.
Darnell Wright's also trying to block everybody else on the offensive line because nobody else can.
Yeah, but he couldn't even get a hand on him. It was a key play too. Obviously, Caleb Williams fumbles there, but he's got a guy open. Maybe he fires it to him. It's a totally different game. Yes. And everybody's on the ground. Look at Darnell Wright.
The entire offensive line is on the ground except for the one fat ass trying to catch up to everybody. Like, what are we doing? This is what it's like. This is what it's like.
I need a break. I need a break.
We don't get a break. We have to watch this game.
Jeremiah says Darnell has regressed.
Yeah.
How many plays? They had like 80 plays. How do you lose and have 80 plays on offense? They had the most plays since like the 90s.
I would rather see Ryan Poles strap him back on and go try to block.
Jesus
Christ. Because he got a bunch of guys who are just like him. He just wasn't very good.
Get my dad out there. He still looks spry.
That might be a problem. Caleb might get hit more.
Jesus, and the defense did look good again, but they just couldn't protect against the run, which happens to some good defenses, I suppose. It looks like Javon Dexter is a player. It looks like he will be. Andrew Billings is a monster, even though stop jumping off sides. And then Mercedes Lewis comes out this week on the offense. I got to go back to the offense. I can't even stay on the defense. Mercedes Lewis comes out and says they have to be coached harder.
You can't stay on the defense because the defense is not a problem. The defense is elite. The defense is a top 3 defense in the league.
Yes.
I would put them up with it. I don't think there is a better defense, but I think there are defenses that are just as good.
Yeah.
But the Bears defense is elite. The problem is on offense, and the problem with offense is coaching. It's coaching. You've got just block, man. Just block.
That's not how it works. You can't just be like, just block, and then people just block. You have to like build it over the years. I mean, we had 2.5 years now to build an offensive line, and they did nothing.
So you're
gonna have an offensive line next from
year.
Yale. They got a left tackle from Yale.
So you want to get all new offensive line next year?
Where they run the ball 60% of the time.
Is this offensive line going to be good next year? Since they have a year together?
God, no. God, no. You can't build a line in 1 year. Just get guys and tell them to block,
because it can't be worse than what you have now. That's what I'm getting at. Is get guys that can go out there and block and just be like, hey, just do a better job than what these guys are doing.
Guys.
I don't know what else to say. Just get guys. You can't, dude, because what are you going to do now? You're going to keep running the same assholes out there that can't block. So yes, go get Bakhtiari. Go get any other offensive lineman off the couch and say, hey guys, you guys have done this before. We understand it's going to take you some time to gel, but come in and do our thing. Here's our playbook. Learn it, block. Because there is nothing worse than what is going on right now. Nothing you can do is worse than what. That's why the Bears can only be better offensively. Because it can't be worse.
This is your glass half full. This is the worst glass half full ever.
It's the only thing you have, though.
Don't go to Ukraine.
It's the only argument I need, Johnny.
Don't go to Israel. Because people will put down their arms and just quit. Like, this is your motivational speech? It's not working.
It's not about developing Williams. I think Williams is developing just fine, Shanna. She says offensive coaching is a joke. If they couldn't develop Fields, what makes you think they can develop Williams? It hasn't happened yet. Williams has shown development. He's shown progress. He's been better each week. That's progression. He is developing despite the porous offensive line, despite the porous coaching. He is still developing. It's the other stuff that around him that's not developing.
I guess that's okay. That worked. You finally hit something. You just throwing darts blind at a board. You hit the bullseye.
It's the glass full of Malort that no one wants.
Yes, it's a glass full of Malort that no one wants. We have to move probably to the wheel soon, but I do see it getting a little bit better with him understanding a little bit. He does have some plays every once in a while where, I can't make that throw. I mean, granted, Odunze drops the ball and throws it into the other team's hands, which is probably not a good play.
First of all, that wasn't a drop. Here, Brian, catch the ball. You can't, right? And then the ball hits you off the chest and it bounces into the defensive player's hand. You can't catch the ball like that. It was a missed pass interference call. It was a missed pass interference call which is whatever. I'm not blaming the referee on that. I mean, they missed calls all over the place. But it was a pass interference that was missed that bounced off of his chest. That one's not on Caleb. The interception before that, completely on Caleb. That ball needs to get thrown away. You're not running to the sideline and then trying to throw it down the sideline into triple coverage. That's a rookie mistake. That's a mistake you expect a rookie to make. The other one's not on him. That's an NFL play. That just happens, and those are the interceptions. When you look at a lot of we would talk about it before with Justin Fields. How many of the interceptions are actually on the quarterback, right? That was a situation where that one's not on the quarterback. He threw one, and he threw into one, I guess is the right term for that.
Yeah. I mean, but he still has plays like when he threw across his body. I know that was a week ago against the Texans, but he still has plays like, can I make this? And I want him to do that kind of stuff. Can I make this play? Am I good enough to make this play in the NFL? I know I could get away with this in college.
The deep ball to Rome in the preseason. He can make the plays. He's got to have time to make the plays.
Well,
and plus you're not playing against second and third string defenses in the regular season.
I think there's some plays that he's slowly learning that do not transfer from college to the NFL. Mm-hmm. I just think there's some things that he's just not going to be able to do here that he was able to do in college. Granted, I think he runs better than I thought he would. I didn't think that would transfer as well over. I mean, it's tough, man. And it's tough to cleanly evaluate him too when he's pressured 30 times a game. That just can't happen, man.
Yeah.
And then again, now we have problems evaluating a quarterback again. Same thing with Trubisky. You want to know mid-year 2 this is probably our guy.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard to say mid-year 2 if we have another offensive coordinator, whether this is the guy or not. It looks like he is. It looks like he's going to be at least a very good quarterback in this league. But who knows? I mean, I don't know if we're going to know that beyond a shadow of the doubt halfway through next season. I know the Commanders are going to know that halfway through next season.
Yeah.
The Bears aren't. Did I say we? It's not we. Fuck.
Jeremiah says if our line was semi-capable, we'd be a 6-point favorite.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
agree with that. I mean, it's hard not to agree with that, but it's not. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts.
Well, right. Exactly. I mean, they're not a 6-point. They shouldn't even be favorites in this game. They should be a home dog.
Yeah, especially since the Rams beat San Francisco last week.
Look, I said there was a lot of luck involved in that. If you watch the game, I mean, San Francisco they're dealing with a lot of injuries too.
Are you saying I didn't watch the game?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Did you watch the game?
Parts.
Not just the ESPN Sports Center highlights.
Yes, I watched parts.
Look. It's going to be an interesting game today. You've got to come out if you're the Bears. You've got to come out if you are what we thought you were. You've got to come out and you've got to show out. You're at home. There's no excuse with the crowd noise. There's no excuse for your offensive line. There's no excuse for anything. Was it the next 2 games?
I'd like to see more plays from under center, especially if Roshan Johnson.
The next 3 the next 2 games are at home, and then they're technically the home team in London. But the next 2 games are at Soldier Field against the Rams and Panthers, and then you go to London for the Jaguars. You got to be 3-0 in this stretch.
Yeah, you do, especially against that Jaguars team, which Peterson, I think, is done there. Doug Peterson's
done. And look,
if he doesn't somehow win today, and I don't see that happening.
For anybody that says I wasn't right about Trevor Lawrence, they're out of their mind.
I had all Fitz gibberish about it. He's Blake Bortles. He's a little bit better than Blake Bortles.
I don't even know if he's better than Blake Bortles.
I mean, Blake Bortles at least had some 30 touchdown seasons.
Yeah.
He is not good. That does not look good. People blame the Jaguars organization for that, but he never has looked great. One half of football again.
Do we feel better about the Bears if they go into Washington and Arizona, that back-to-back week on the road? Do we feel better if they're 4-2?
Just how are they winning these games? Is it the Titans all over again?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do we feel better about it because of the teams that they're beating?
After the offensive line is starting to get it together and we see something where they can maybe be slightly below average, then
so it's a confidence thing in your mind because going up against the Panthers and the Jaguars, like if you perform well, are you really performing well, or are they just that bad? You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like how much more do you
it the preseason all over again where we felt good because they went 4-0 in the preseason,
right?
And now they look like this.
Yeah.
And
then you get the Commanders, the Cardinals, the Patriots before you've got to play that team from the north that we will not talk about.
Doubting Thomas says this is a winnable game today. Is it just me?
It is a winnable game. I agree with that. It is a winnable game. I just don't have any faith that they're going to find the way to win it.
And his moniker is Hans Gruber from Die Hard. I don't know. I mean, first of all, I was just going to say that he's been pretty optimistic this year, Doubting Thomas. And then he has Hans Gruber as his from Die Hard as his moniker, which is
all right. So let's get into it. Wheel of Death time.
Maybe we should throw Doubting Thomas off a building.
You have to get your chest waxed.
I do. I have to also.
I'm going to show up and mow your lawn.
You're going to mow a lawn. You're going to mow a lawn.
We need volunteers for somebody to come and record that. I don't know who wants to see that, but
your wife.
She probably don't want to see it either.
Oh, that could be a problem.
We're married. She doesn't see that stuff.
Oh my God.
But anyway, we'll go probably, let's
Revelations
say,
abound.
Within the next 2 weeks. Well, what was the other one you had to do?
I have to do the combine.
Oh, the
4
combine.
things from the
All
combine.
Right. So maybe we'll get together this week and we'll just do a recording day.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want to. I'm not recording you.
I can't wait to see your chest get wet. Just the reaction on it. It's gonna be fun. We got to find somebody who's willing to pull it off. Oh,
we might have someone.
All right. Who is going to choose the Wheel of Death punishment this week? Who are we nominating?
I don't know. Is Jeremiah yet? Let's do Jeremiah.
All right, Jeremiah, you are up. Let us know.
Yet.
Let us know in the chat what our punishment is for the Wheel of Death. Again, can't be anything that causes bodily harm more than waxing wood or a combine.
There's been hair on this chest for like 25 years.
It can't be anything that would send us to jail.
Quarter century of rooted hair we're talking about.
You know, within the realm of possibility, Jeremiah, because I know how your twisted mind works.
There's sequoia trees that have been growing for less time than my chest hair.
I mean, it pops out of every shirt you wear. You wear a turtleneck and your chest hair is popping out. It's crazy.
It's a little bit of cinnamon for all the folks out there.
All our lives hang by a thread. Now we've got a man waiting for sentence. But ain't it the truth? You take your chances with the law. Justice is only a roll of the dice, a flip of the coin, a turn of the wheel.
This is the Wheel of Death.
And here we go.
There a short one? Can't we?
All right. Jeremiah.
How about an IQ test?
So Jeremiah says the punishment is going to be one of us has to take the ACT. Now, here's a problem. This is a real problem, but
you can't read.
Neither one of us really has the time to take a 4-hour ACT.
I think there's IQ tests out there. We can do that.
We could do the IQ test.
You're not going to break.
Isn't that what the Wonderlick is that we're doing? You're doing already?
No, that's a little different.
Okay.
I think.
All right, we'll have to do something around it because
decision making
to block out 4-hour time for especially for me right now is damn near impossible.
That's like a bathroom break for you.
Typically, that's usually when porn pops up on my phone.
Oh God, here we go.
The practice ones online.
Oh,
you can take.
Yeah.
Is it 4 hours? Never mind. Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. If
It's
there's like an hour one
we
could do, we'll do it.
We'll find something and we'll do that test. But
there might be something online.
Last week we had 4 games that we picked separate. I won 3 of those 4. So this week you're going to look to be a little bit better.
You lost miserably the first week.
And you've lost miserably the next 2.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's just how it goes.
It's a long season.
I'm going to lose 1. You're going to lose 7.
You're talking about them being 4-2. Maybe I'll be 4-2. You're about to be
1-3.
There we go.
Let's start Saints Falcons. Falcons are a 2.5-point home favorite against the New Orleans Saints. Where are you going?
Saints Falcons. I'm going Saints. Screw Kirk Cousins and Creed.
Yeah, I'm going Falcons here. So I have to. And here's why. I don't believe in the Saints. I think the Saints were that team that just started out hot and just
could be.
They're not as good as what they started out as, and they showed it last week. The Falcons are a better team, and they're going to win today by more than 2.5. Vikings at the team from the north that we don't talk about. Vikings are a 2.5-point dog at Lambeau.
In Lambeau.
We always hate picking these games because we have to pick one of our rivals.
I know. I think the Vikings keep it going. I like the quarterback with the Vikings better than the quarterback.
Yeah, they announced that Jordan Love will be starting today, so it instantly made my decision the Vikings. Instantly. So give me the Vikings.
Look good. It's hard to say he hasn't.
I'll take the Vikings plus 2.5. And I mean, Jordan Love did not look good when he got hurt. So Steelers, Colts. I think we're both on the same thing here. Pittsburgh's 2.5-point favorite on the road. Yeah, Steelers, Colts are not good. Broncos and Jets. Jets are an 8.5-point home favorite.
Jesus.
I'm going Broncos. I'm taking the 8.5.
I'll go Jets.
I think that defense is good enough to keep it within 8.5, within a score. I think Bo Nix has shown progression every week, so I'm going to take the Broncos.
Progression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what you call it.
Eagles and Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a 1-point home dog to the Eagles.
Do I stay with Baker?
Baker, the touchdown maker, as my boy Brad Evans likes to call him.
God. I'll go with the Bucs.
I'm gonna ride with the Eagles in this one. I think they win this game. I think Saquon Barkley goes off.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Bengals, who have been really, really bad at Carolina. Bengals are a 5-point road favorite.
Jesus. Going Bengals. I don't think they will lose 4 in a row. And Burrow looked better last week.
I'll take the other side of this one. I'll ride with the Panthers this week.
Shocker.
Could
you take the next pick?
No,
first,
I just can't take.
So we don't have to do this for every pick.
I can't take the Bengals. -5 when they haven't won a game all year. Jaguars and Texans. Texans 5.5-point home favorite. I'm on Houston. Jaguars are just bad. I'll give up the 5.5.
Yeah, I'm on Houston too. Both.
Commanders and Cardinals. This game's going to be a shootout. I said this on Friday night. If you listen to BetMGM tonight, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, shameless plug, you would have heard that I said my take on this was it's going to be a shootout. And when there's a shootout, I always take the points. I'm on the Commanders +3.5.
I'll take the Cardinals.
Okay. Patriots at 49ers. Niners are a 10-point home favorite. It's a lot of points in the NFL to give up. But I am going to give them up, and I'm taking the 49ers. The Patriots are bad.
Yeah, me too.
Raiders and Browns. The Browns are a 2.5-point road favorite in Vegas.
That's a toughie. Especially with the Raiders. Decent defense at least. What am I going to do here? Browns look okay for one game. I'll take the Raiders.
All right. Well, I was waiting for you to say that because I'm going to take the Browns, and here's
Shocker.
why. Devontae Adams is out. Max Crosby's out. They've lost half of their defense that are all out this week. So I'm going to take the Browns and their defense over the Raiders. Chiefs and Chargers. Chiefs are a 7-point road favorite.
Yeah.
So this game's in LA. I am taking the points with the Chargers. I am taking Jim Harbaugh plus 7 points every time.
Just because they're going to play. I don't think they're going to air it out
in this game. Just so you know, before you make your decision, because I already know this. I don't know if you do.
Rams both.
Herbert's out.
I thought Herbert was in.
Last I heard Herbert.
I just heard on the ride in Herbert's in.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong.
So maybe Herbert's in, but either way, I'm
sure
still
Jeremiah
on the Chargers.
will tell us in about 5 minutes.
Bills and Ravens.
Oh, I didn't know we had another
Sunday Night Football. Bills and Ravens. The Ravens are a 2.5-point home favorite over the Buffalo Bills.
I think Bills look like the best team in the league right now, which is shocking. I'm taking the Bills.
Okay. I am going to take the Bills as well. I think they win this game outright. Titans and Dolphins. Monday night doubleheader. Titans, Dolphins. Miami is a 2.5-point home favorite.
I'm not. This Levis is playing, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going for that team.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a gross one to pick. I think the Dolphins win it outright. I don't know if they win it by 2.5 points, but I'm going to give up the 2.5 because I can't put my money on Levis. Lions, Seahawks. 3-0 Seahawks are a 3.5-point dog in Detroit on Monday night. Where are you going? I'm going Lions. I'll give up the points. I know the Seahawks have played well, but I'm going Lions.
Yeah, it's hard in that place. The Seahawks offense isn't that good.
Yeah.
I'm going Lions.
Okay. So Herbert is expected to play, says Jeremiah Murray. So there is that.
It's another reason to take the Chargers.
Yeah,
I just taking them anyway.
Yeah, I can't not take the Chargers when kickoff.
Keenan Allen's taking his helmet off. Maybe he'll play without his helmet today. I think that's a good it's a good omen. Maybe he should play without his helmet. Maybe
we'll see. Well, he's actually playing, so that's a plus.
Yeah, exactly.
With or without a helmet, he's playing. So that is a plus. For us, we will be back here at McNally's next Sunday. Much larger crowd expected. No events going on. We've got a whole week to prepare for this. For all of you guys out there in the chat land, feel free to come on down.
Yeah. See us.
Come hang out with us
hello
at McNally's.
Yell at us.
Till next week.
We'll yell at you.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies.